What's shaking, people? Back with another reaction, and we're back to react to an artist that we all on the channel know very well, but whose solo material I am now going to take a look at, and I would like to give a shout out to two people straight out of the gate. Shout out to Seb for making this available to me, big friend of the channel, very positive, very insightful fellow, and also, again, has shared his musical catalog with me, not only John Taylor, who we're going to listen to now, but Pet Shop Boys and OMD and others. So once again, big ups to you, and big ups to Johnny's girl. She's been mentioning from the very beginning that John Taylor's solo material would be worth investigating, so I've been very keen to get down this road. And we are here at last, so once again, shout out to you. I do appreciate the enthusiasm and the suggestion in the first place. So yeah, we're going to listen to the first tune on his debut solo album, which is 1997, and I have to point out, I was curious about the, just sort of, what the aesthetic of the albums that he put out look like and so on. So this first album is 1997. It's called Feelings Are Good and Other Lies. The first tune is called Feelings Are Good, like sort of stylized R, the letter, instead of the verb. But ultimately, not only did I notice that the cover image is very stark, there's like a little girl like crying, like running away, and it looks like an oldie-timey picture from maybe the mid-20th century. It's not really clear what's going on, but it looks like there's maybe like a political officer or something walking by. So not only is the imagery sort of stark, but I have to point out, again, it's 1997. We all know, and I've come to learn through you, that John Taylor was still with Duran when the recording of that album started, but after a couple songs in, apparently he just wasn't feeling the direction and just felt the call to do something different, and so he went off and left the group for several years, like 7 years, I guess. But yeah, ultimately, it says on the cover for this album, ex-member of Duran Duran, sort of very prominently. So, I don't know if that was done to sort of, increase sales or increase interest for people who might not know him by name, although I feel like, a lot of people following Duran, they know a lot about the sort of the histories and the talents and the different abilities of the different group members. So obviously Duran fans would not have been needed to be told who he was or, what group he used to be a part of, but perhaps that was done to sort of attract like general listener interest. But it does almost feel like a very prominent, like, I'm no longer in Duran Duran sort of statement. Regardless of that, I am keen to check out this album, so my understanding is it has more of a rock feel than Duran's material. It's more like, guitar and sort of rock driven. So yeah, I'm curious if he does all the parts. I had a friend in high school who was like in a couple different punk bands, and then right as we were graduating, he wasn't in any group, but he actually released an album. It's this guy goes by the name Jared. It goes by the name Jared. Sick Waiting is the name of the band, and I believe they've been around a long time. But at the time that I knew him, there was a point where it was literally just him, and he recorded the guitar part, he recorded the bass part, he recorded the drum part, and the vocals, and then mixed it all together. So it was like, it's a punk rock tune, but literally like he's playing all the parts. So I wonder whether this is, John Taylor on bass and with other people playing instruments. I know he plays guitar, like I know that's how he got his start in Duran, and then eventually went over to bass. So he's certainly capable of playing the different parts, but I'm not sure exactly how this album is arranged. Do let me know if you got insight on that one. But yeah, let's get to it. This is the first song, Feelings Are Good. As a sort of extrapolation from the aesthetic of the cover, one would be inclined to think it might be ironic or sort of sort of the dark underbelly of the idea of feelings are good. That like, yeah, they can be good, they can be great, but they can also be painful and hard and difficult to overcome and so on. So yeah, the aesthetic of the album makes me think that, there's an irony or a sort of a second layer or a twist or a turn to that phrase. So we'll have to see, how that manifests. But again, like the phrase itself is straightforward. Feelings are good. But there's obviously a vulnerability there, and so if there's a vulnerability, there can potentially be a downside to feelings. So let's get to it. This is John Taylor, Feelings Are Good, from the album Feelings Are Good and Other Lies, which, again, it's not just the aesthetic, right? It's the nature of the full title of the album indicating that feelings Whether they're good or not, that's not the full story. So let's get to it. I love the opening. Interesting rhythm. It's like straight and then halting. Straight and then halting. I heard.
Feelings are good.
Ooh.
Feelings are good. Feelings are good.
Yeah, it's heavy. I like
Feelings are
it.
good.
Yeah, I dig it. So is that him also on those backing vocals, or that's...
I'm so full of shame. I'm so full of shame.
I'm full of shame and it's not mine. I won't take the blame.
Feelings are good. Feelings are good.
And other lives.
Feelings are good.
That main riff, like, I've been listening to a lot of Smashing Pumpkins lately. I'm feeling some of those vibes. Some dissonance in there. Hello. I love this. Atmospheric.
This feel right here. This feel right here. It's under my breath. This feel is real.
I'm interested by the spoken vocals. I assume it's all him vocally.
It's understood. Feelings are good.
It's understood feelings are good.
Feelings are good. Feelings are good.
I feel the like passionate delivery in the middle of all that. Come on.
Feelings are good. Feelings are good. Feelings are good.
I dig it. I like the end too. So yeah, it's interesting the use of that like spoken vocal and the like. It was almost like call and response with the sung vocal. It's an interesting layer, and it feels very synth rock. It feels like maybe he learned from Nick Rhodes in terms of. But and again, I know Johnny's Girl has mentioned that he'll play synth bass like at Duran shows. Like he's not a stranger to the keyboards either. But yeah, the way that sort of the vocal effect on the spoken vocal is kind of that like bullhorn sort of style, and the way the track ended there, again, it felt like a bit of Rhodes sort of sensibility, is articulated through a JT song here. So yeah, I enjoyed that a lot, and again, the guitar riff especially, heavy, like driving, and again, if I'm comparing it to the guitar work in Smashing Pumpkins, I want to be very clear, that is like a notable compliment. Not only do I enjoy their music going back, but as I've been going through their catalog in recent times, I'm reminded of like how powerful and just like, epic their heavy guitar work is. So yeah, they gave me similar vibes. There were some other funny elements, there were the sort of high kind of articulated vocals that he did, and there were a couple there was like this percussive rhythm that was just like a triple hit, and it was sort of recurrent. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. Again, I do wonder, is that him like not just doing the spoken and the sung vocal, but there were these backing kind of like choral, almost like hummed vocals, and I wonder, is that him like also layered in, or were there actually backup singers? I'm immensely curious about the arrangement and sort of the players involved in the album. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that there were some other people playing certain instruments. but neither would I be surprised to learn that, like my friend Jared back in the day, it was an album constructed of all his different musical abilities put into the same song. So yeah, once again, shout out to Seb, shout out to Johnny's Girl. Looking forward to this deep dive. Do let me know, if you're familiar with his solo work or whether this will be new for you also. And yeah, whether you're a Duran fan or just checking out another deep dive on the channel, which I definitely appreciate. There's a number of people who now show up in different playlists, different band reaction lists, and so on. It means a lot to me. It shows that you like talking about different music, but also that you're here for the musical journeys that I'm on. So yeah, big ups to all friends of the channel. Do let me know what you think of the tune. I will see you next time. Peace.